Hey, what's up guys? It's a new Set4J video. Welcome back. Today we're doing a little bit of an experimental thing. I'm gonna do a tier list, and I wasn't feeling inspired one way or another about what type of tier list I should do, so I chose condiments because I think I have some hot takes here. So we have a decent variety of condiments here, and I think an important thing to talk about is like what is a condiment. I did a little bit of research beforehand. I think a safe bet is a condiment is something that can't really be eaten on its own. Like literally anything could be eaten on its own. Any food could be eaten on its own. But if its primary use is to be used on top of something else, then I think it can be classified as a condiment. Now some of these are a little borderline, I think, but YOLO, you know? So I'll just kind of start with ketchup, I guess. Now, this probably won't surprise anyone, but I think ketchup is S tier. I mean, I'm not one of those weirdos who just puts ketchup on literally anything, but I do like ketchup on my fries and burgers. I don't really like hot dogs or brats, so I don't put it on that, obviously, but drowning a hot dog in ketchup is one of the only ways I can make it tolerable, you know? So, I'm gonna do sour cream next. Sour cream is an F tier. Am I thinking of the right thing? Sour cream? Yeah. Yeah, no, it could, yeah. I was getting confused between sour cream and cottage cheese. But yeah, sour cream can definitely go on top of stuff. My brother loves sour cream, and my sister too. They'll eat it straight out of the fucking tub. It's disgusting. It makes me squirm. Salt's gonna be an A. I think I am going to organize these like the best S tier will be closest to here. You know, the best A tier will be closest to the A. We'll go through that later though. Mayo. This is a big jug of mayo, by the way, an unnecessary amount of mayo. But I think mayo is a B tier. I really do. I guess I didn't really talk about salt that much. Let's go back to salt. Salt is kind of just like ketchup. It's really versatile, and you know, it's not a make or break in my opinion. I think salt can help, but things that have salt would be fine without salt. Like if we're talking about the difference between an S and an A, I really don't like eating burgers without ketchup, you know, or fries without ketchup. I can, I guess, but I would much rather have ketchup and fries, you know. I'm shaking like I have never recorded a video in my life. I don't know what's wrong with me. Gravy. I get a lot of flack for this one because literally everyone that I talk to loves gravy, but gravy is definitely an F tier. And I've tried gravy, you know, made by tons of different people, you know, people who have gone to cooking school even. Gravy made by my mom. I've tried different types of gravy. Shit, that's nothing. But all of it kind of just sucks. So I don't like gravy. I don't like it on my mashed potatoes. I don't like it on my meats. It doesn't really do anything for me. We got barbecue sauce. Barbecue sauce is kind of another one I get flack for, especially given the fact that I live in the Midwest. But I think barbecue sauce is a D tier. It's a little too tangy. I don't know what it is I don't like about barbecue sauce, but it's just I would rather not have it on my food, you know. I can deal with it sometimes, like on ribs, it's fine. But the big thing for me, and this might be just like an issue with ribs, because I've never really liked ribs, but it's because they are really messy, you know, and that bothers me a lot. And I guess I associate the messiness of ribs with how much I like barbecue sauce. It might be closer to a C. It might be like right on the cusp of D and C, but I don't know. I really don't like barbecue sauce most of the time. Next up, we got ranch, a classic. I think ranch it's an A tier. I think it's really good with baby carrots and salad, of course, but it can definitely get old, and not even talking about the expiration date. No, like, it gets old quick, you know? It overstays its welcome sometimes. So, that's pretty much why it's not an S tier. I love ranch, but I don't love it like I like ketchup, you know? Mustard, another one I get flack for. I absolutely hate mustard. It's disgusting, okay? It's just, if you like mustard, get out of here. It's one of the worst things on this planet. You know, there's a lot of bad things on this planet, but number one is mustard. Let's stay on the mustard trend. We got honey mustard is also an F tier. They came out with regular mustard and they said, how can we make it worse? I know, let's make it honey mustard. I guess we'll go with jelly. Jelly is gonna be an A tier for me. I think the only reason why it's not an S tier, I know it does have a lot of uses, but its primary, like by far, its most common use is on toast, and I like something that's a bit more versatile, you know. Next up we got queso. Queso is, you know, one of those things that kind of borders on, is it a dip, is it a condiment? I don't know, if you're talking burritos, I think you can call it a condiment. If you're talking chips, it's a dip. That's just my take. And nachos, it's a condiment technically. There you go. But I think queso is, this one kind of hurts. I think queso is a B tier, actually. My reasoning for this is not anything to do with how queso tastes. I think queso is one of my favorites in terms of taste, but just sort of the way it makes you feel, and if you don't eat it fast enough, it gets that film over it. It's usually like the lower quality of the cheese, the worse it is in that aspect, you know. But it's, you know, a thing that still happens almost no matter what. So it's just kind of a gross thing, you know. If you have too much queso, you feel like queso is in your veins, and it's just not a good feeling. Next up, I'll do maple syrup. I think syrup is probably gonna be, this one's tough too. I'm gonna put syrup in C tier, and it's gonna be a similar thing with queso, where it's not really about the taste. It's more about whenever I have syrup, like on pancakes or waffles, you know, as you do, the scent of it and the stickiness always seems to linger, and I try my fucking hardest not to get any syrup on my hands or anything. I don't really consider myself a messy eater, but I always, you know, feel sticky after eating stuff with syrup on it. It's alright in terms of taste. I used to squirt chocolate syrup into my mouth when I was younger because I was poor, and I needed something in my stomach. I'm over-exaggerating a little bit. I was poor, but I would go to extreme lengths to get snacks. So I ate a lot of spoonfuls of peanut butter, which is how I came back around on peanut butter in my life, because I used to hate it. And then also chocolate syrup and sometimes maple syrup. And that's another thing. Peanut butter isn't on this list because it is actually a thing you can eat by itself.
Started to get a little hungry, right? So I went out to the kitchen. We didn't have many groceries, but I had this peanut butter. So I just ate like a couple of spoons of peanut butter right out of the jar.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm gonna end it there. That's all I have to say about that. Horseradish. Yeah, horseradish is F tier. I don't really have much to say about horseradish, to be honest. It's kind of just a thing that exists. And you know what? No, everything's fine in F tier. These are just like the bottom of the barrel. It feels weird to have so many things in the bottom, is essentially what I'm concerned about. So this is the more liquidy salsa, and I might get some, I'm actually not sure what people's opinions are on this specific variation. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of chunky salsa specifically, but the picante, it always seems like more adult people are really into the picante for some reason. It might just be like a family thing, like a heritage thing for me. I'm not strongly Latino, I would say. I don't have a lot of that in my blood, but we have a lot of salsa consumption in our family. We're salsa freaks, you know. Some of my family is, you know, rather southern, not like Texas or Alabama southern, but like New Mexico southern. Salsa is a big part of my life. I'm just not a big fan of the picante, so it's bearable, but I would much rather have chunky salsa. And chunky salsa, I think, is gonna be it's gonna be A tier. I just don't have any reasons to make it S tier, you know? Like, it's not that good. It's great, but it's not ketchup, you know? Honestly, I don't even love ketchup that much. It's just the one thing that's above everything else here, because it's the one thing that I don't really get sick of. Wasabi. I am not experienced enough with this wasabi to even actually technically to even argue whether or not it's a condiment or not. But when I was looking at the big old list of condiments, it was on there, and I was like, let's talk about wasabi. I'm not a big spice guy, which is, you know, why I have horseradish down here. primarily why. I know I do like salsa, and if you can see here, it says, I don't know why it's so low quality. But it says hot. I'm a mild salsa type of guy, you know? Wasabi is kind of just like that extreme spiciness that I'm not a big fan of. So it's gonna be in the F tier for me. That's literally the only reason, just because it's spicy. There's certain things that are just so spicy that I can't really taste anything else, you know? And I've tried to get better about it in my life, but it's a journey, you know? It takes time. Relish. I've never really heard anyone talk about how they love relish. I've seen people eat relish, and I guess maybe once or twice I've seen someone who's over the moon for relish, but I think relish is pretty gross. It's weird because I love pickles, but relish is just, it's gross, okay? It's not, you know, the worst thing in the world like mustard, but it's not really good either. So E tier for that one. We got Dijon mustard, and this might surprise you, but I actually like Dijon mustard a lot more than regular mustard. I think Dijon deserves a D. It's not something I'd go to, but it's not something I'm completely repulsed by. So up next we got pepper. Now, this is a tough one. I think pepper's an A tier. Why? I don't know. It's just solid, you know. There's never a time where I'm like, man, I wish this didn't have pepper. But there's never a time where I say, well, there's lots of times where I say, I wish this did have pepper. So sriracha, just another spicy thing. It's not that bad. It's gonna go down to the F, but the fact that it's in the back here is, I'm gonna rearrange this F tier. So butter is kind of a C tier in my opinion. I put it in my rice, or I used to put it in my rice when I was younger, and I don't know if that kind of just put me off of butter, but it doesn't really do anything for me. It's not exactly that it's bland, it's just that it's like I don't care whether or not I have it, unless it's like I have toast and there's nothing else on it and it's just dry. That's gross, you know. I'd have butter there. Soy sauce. This is my new rice additive, I guess, or condiment, and it's pretty good. It's kind of hard for me to gauge how much I should put in there, so I'm still kind of experimenting in that regard, but soy sauce I think is a pretty solid B tier choice. Now I'm going to rearrange this. I think queso deserves to be at the front of B tier. I'm starting with B because that's the last one I left off at. Soy sauce, not really close to queso, mostly because queso just tastes so great. Again, it's the way queso makes me feel that puts it in B. Otherwise, it might even be in S tier. Then mayo rounding out the back of it. I guess I didn't really elaborate that much on mayo. It's kind of like butter, where I'm not like, man, I really wish I had mayo on here, or man, I wish there wasn't mayo on here. It doesn't really do anything for me. But I think it does add a little more to, like, say, a sandwich than butter does. Just in my opinion. If you disagree, feel free to let me know. So obviously no rearranging to do for the S tier. For the A tier, I'm gonna say salt goes in the back. I'm gonna say salsa goes right here in the A tier. Or I mean at the front of the A tier. I'm gonna say ranch goes a bit back. Jelly, move it on up. Ranch, pulling in right behind jelly, pepper right behind ranch, and salt right behind pepper. I think that's fair. Salt and pepper are, like, it depends on the day, you know? It's not definitively salt is worse than pepper or pepper is better than salt, you know? It's just kind of, they're pretty interchangeable in terms of their rank, you know? Down here in C list, maple syrup is going to be definitively at the front of C, whereas butter is going to be like way at the back here. Butter is really close to being a D tier for me, just because it's that meaningless to me, whereas sometimes I feel like butter is a bit of a detriment, just not all the time, which is why it's kind of sticking in that C tier. And barbecue sauce versus Dijon, it's kind of hard because, you know, these two especially, I should say, maybe even just D. I'm kind of just indifferent towards these two. I just avoid them if I can, you know, but I don't mind it if they're on there. I'm gonna say Dijon is behind barbecue sauce. And this might change as I get older because, wow, nice voice. This might change as I get older because I didn't even really know about Dijon until I was 18, and I've known about barbecue sauce all my life. Since I've had time to form my opinion, or a longer time to form my opinion on barbecue sauce, it could be that Dijon could move its way up the ranks, you know? But in general, I don't really like mustard anyways, so the fact that Dijon is so high here is kind of surprising even to me. Now here, I think picante salsa is definitely stronger than relish. So these two are just gonna stay in place. This one's really hard, mostly because there's just so much stuff here. I think wasabi's probably the front of the pack here. Sour cream, I would say, is right behind it. Gravy is kind of like a harmless gross, you know? If I had it on there, I would be like, oh, yuck, but I'll still eat it. If mustard's on there, I'm asking for a new one. Sriracha is also kind of a harmless gross. I'll try to power through it so I don't look like a pussy. Between these three, honestly, I'm just gonna have the regular mustard behind honey mustard because I don't want to disrespect the honey mustard. I haven't really had it enough to form a completely solid opinion on it. So horseradish though, I think that's a good spot for horseradish, honestly. So here you go. This is my condiments tier list. If you agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments. What's your condiments tier list? If you want to shorten it up a little bit, take out the ones that you don't think matter, completely fine by me. If you just want to talk about the ones you disagree with, also completely fine. But definitely let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Later. Ooh, I completely forgot to go on my rant about ranch. So ranch, I just like the basic ranch. If you are a motherfucker who perpetuates the stupid ass barbecue ranch or whatever the fuck ranch, ooh, get off my planet Earth, please. Or at least move somewhere where I will never interact with you. Everyone who likes anything that isn't regular ranch, move to an island so that you can all dilly-dally with your stupid ass wacko ranch. Fucking freaks. God damn, it's so annoying, especially when you go to the store and you see a bunch of shelf space being taken up by all these other ranches. No one's touched them, but the main ranch is empty, and it had 2 spots. And literally all the other ranches had only 1 spot, but there's no regular ranch, and all of the other ranches are just sitting there, taking the space that could have been there for the regular ranch. Holy fucking shit, that pisses me off so much. Like, goddamn, you wouldn't understand. Anyways, yeah, that's all I had to talk about, so yeah, bye.